Alex, how big was it just to get out of here with the split, especially the way you did it with the two early grand slams?
We swung the bat well yesterday, and we feel really good offensively. Yesterday we played a good game, and tonight we did too. And obviously, going home and guarantee 3 games, that's very important. So now it's the best out of 5, and we play 3 games at home. These are plays that, the last 2 playoffs we've been here, we swung the bat well, we play well. That's a tough team. It's never comfortable with them because they're a swing away from getting back in the game. But, yeah, I mean, it's something that we talk about today, and now we go to Fenway, and it should be fun.
Jen in the 4th row on your left.
Alex, Nate's been so good for you guys all year, but just what does this start, mean for you guys in terms of just the way that you can set the rest of the rotation up and bullpen up and all that?
I mean, there's a reason we map things the way we do, and some people don't agree with us, but I think we have a pretty good pulse of what we do in our program. And yesterday we almost pulled that off. Obviously, we want Chris to go deeper, and I think he will. But having Nate in Game 2, understanding and knowing that there's a good chance he's going to go deep in the game with the off day tomorrow, we felt comfortable with the way we did things. He's been a horse for us. He's been amazing, and he went out there and he did an amazing job.
Way back, Pete in the center.
Alex, their starter was working at a slow pace in the first inning. Then you had the delay in the second inning. How did you guys kind of keep their focus, and was that an issue?
I don't think our focus was going to be. There was no way today, the way they came to the ballpark, the way they talked today in the meeting, the way they went about the business. It really didn't matter if it was an hour delay or whatever. We were locked in today. I think obviously yesterday was disappointing, but at the same time understanding what we wanted to do and go home and have 3 guaranteed games at Fenway, it really didn't matter.
Also, were you concerned at all at how long it took Odorizzi to get ready?
No, not really. They actually met to go over the scouting report, like if he was a starter, it was cool. They kept moving around, and Nate was good. So, I understand. It was weird. I never seen it that way, but understanding that he needs to be ready and to avoid injuries, it really didn't matter how long it took him.
And way back in the left, Daniel.
Alex, el equipo inició igual con Tampa, que perdió el primero, al otro día explotó la ofensiva. ¿Qué tienen estos muchachos cuando pierden, se ponen las pilas para el otro día?
Yo creo que ayer teníamos las pilas también. Lo que pasó fue que nos ganaron, ¿verdad? Jugamos un buen juego de pelota, cogimos muy buenos turnos. Lamentablemente 2 picheos que se quedaron, uno alto y uno en medio plato, y José, Altuve y Correa conectaron cuadrangulares. En este caso hoy los muchachos salieron, cogieron buenos turnos desde el principio, pero hemos hecho eso desde el juego del comodín, desde Wildcard. Contra los Yankees cogieron buenos turnos, contra Tampa, a pesar de que nos blanquearon, cogimos buenos turnos. So, ofensivamente hablando, estamos en un buen momento.
I'll go to Sean in the middle.
Alex, what was the issue with Nate when you brought the trainer out in the 5th, I think, and did he
slipped? I think he slipped. There was a big hole, so he slipped a little bit, and he made like a gesture, and he started stretching, he said he was fine. It was actually kind of like his back, but he said he was fine. He came in, got the outright, and came in, and they check on him, they stretch him out, and there's no issues.
Do 2 more for Alex, Chad, and then Alex.
Alex, just what was Nate doing during the delay?
Just hanging out with Bushy. I mean, there's nothing he could do. He just sitting there, moving around, stretching. I actually told him, hey, you can take as long as, whatever time you want, to get ready. And he's like, no, I'm good. So he treated it like a long inning.
And do you have a Game 3 starter now?
Not yet.
And we'll go to Alex on the left.
Alex, the offensive approach had been inconsistent at times during the regular season, with especially with strike zone management. What are you seeing in the postseason, and what you talked about the focus? What are you seeing in the hitters' meetings right now?
there's a lot of conversations, I got a lot of feedback. I guarantee you they're studying a little bit more, watching not only one start, two starts, but three or four, and going back to a month ago, 2 months ago, looking for tendencies, talking about the characteristics of the fastball, and because that's what they do, they different angles, different shapes of breaking balls, they do what they do, they attack how they attack, so you got to be ready. It's very different from Tampa. Tampa, I think it was more aggressive in the strike zone. These guys, they do what they do. They expand the zone. We struck out, 12, 13 times anyways today, right? Something like that. So we still can be better. But overall, I think it's more about what we can do and just try to keep that line moving. I think it's, when we have this humble approach, that we're not trying to do too much, then big things happen. And JD, that was great to see, going the other way. Rafi not trying to do too much and hitting the grand slam and so on and so on. So it's a very good approach right now. We're not getting greedy. Like I said a few days ago, it's not about hitting 30 home runs or driving in 100 runs. It's about, winning 4 games against the Astros. So now we got one, and now we got a Fenway.
In the same game.
Yeah, I mean, for our guys to open it up the way they did, it takes a lot of the pressure off my back, trying to be so fine out there. I felt good physically. We scored 4 in the first and then another 4 in the second. And, it's, usually I'm trying to go as deep as I can in a ball game like that, but at the same time I'm walking a tight line with their offense. You got to do a good job of attacking, but then at the same time they're taking really good pitches, and you don't want to let them get anything going, especially here at home. And the 4th inning, they were able to add 3 more runs, and after that, I was able to, keep them off of the pitches a little bit more. And then Otto came in, Whitlaw came in, and they did a great job, stopping them.
We'll go with Sean, the 5th row in the middle.
Nate, it's great, I guess, to get those 4 runs, but you sat for 41 minutes after that inning between the long inning and the injury to Garcia. What was that like? What'd you do, and how did you cope with that layoff?
The timing of it was nice since it was at the very beginning of the game, so I wasn't, too deep into my pitch count or anything like that. So I sit down in the tunnel, and we got the net down there for the guys to hit. So I just picked up some balls and threw into the net to stay loose. Ran up and down the stairs a couple times. Went up to the weight room, stayed loose up there as well. So, it really didn't bother me too much. I think it was the timing of everything though that helped out with it.
I'll go with Jen and then Pete.
Nate, just how important is it, I guess, to have the start that you had just to help save kind of the bullpen and keep guys fresh? Rodriguez and Pivetta didn't have to pitch and that kind of thing. Was that all in the back of your mind as you're kind of heading in today after last night?
When we were able to score the runs, I had to try and shift, try to go out there and go as deep as I could. I knew this would be a good opportunity for me to be able to go a little deeper into the game, maybe go through the lineup more than 3 times, or try to go through them at least 3 times. And again, that's kind of like what I touched on earlier about walking that tightrope. Their offense is so good, and they can get it going at any point really. And I felt like in the 5th or going into the 6th, it was like try to get the outs as fast as possible. And Alvarez got a good swing on the ball and got on base, and then we brought in Otto. So, but for us to be able to stay away from Eddie and Pivetta is huge for us. Going into going back to Boston and hopefully having one of those 2 guys start. Game 3 and 4. So,
I'll go with Pete and then Buck.
Nate, going back to 18, you guys are 5-0 after a loss in the playoffs. What do you think that says about this group, and how are you able to rally so quickly after a loss in the playoffs?
Yeah, I felt like last night it felt like we were winning a lot more than we were, and then when they were able to come back, it just kind of took the wind out of our sails, and I felt like we had a lot of opportunities to score yesterday, and the guys realized that today as well, and we were able to capitalize today and hold on to the lead till the game was over. And I think it just shows the fight and everything that we have in the clubhouse. The guys are, we realize what's at stake, and then just the at bats and stuff that we're having. We're having quality at bats up there, and we're seeing the ball well, and defense has been great. Pitching's been good, keeping us in the ball games, and it's just you keep waiting for that big moments to happen, like it did today in the 1st and the 2nd inning.
And on your far right, Buck.
Nate, there have been several times over the last 2 or 3 weeks that Alex has brought up the 0-3 start in Baltimore, and he does it without even being asked. He just kind of references it. What does that mean, you guys, as a talking point, and what do you think Alex is trying to convey when he says that?
What'd you say at the beginning of the question? I'm sorry, about Baltimore?
That he brings up the 0-3 start in Baltimore, and he's done so. He did it last night, in fact, and he was asked a question. He said, well, we started 0-3 in Baltimore. So what does that mean to you as a talking point, and what is he trying to convey when he brings that up?
I mean, starting out the season 0-3 against Baltimore is not how we had drawn it up or anything like that, but I think for us to be able to turn the page from then, and I forget who we had the second series, was it Tampa, I believe, and we were able to come out, and I believe we won that series, and, you know, coming in against Tampa, a great team right there, and it's just the fight, again, like everybody has in the clubhouse. We believe in one another, we believe in the talent that we have in the room and the guys that are here now, and, you know, just everybody's able to get the job done when they're called upon.
Gabe, the microphone's behind you.
Hey, Nate, the staff is just in a slightly different place than it was in 2018, just in terms of roles and whatnot. Do you feel like you have to, you want to take it upon yourself to give the team length when you go out there and kind of suck up those innings that may not be the way it was in 18?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, anytime the ball is handed to me, I want to keep it as long as I can. And, you know, when AC says that's enough, it's enough. And, you know, I'm not going to question the decisions he makes. But, you know, I want to stay out there as long as possible. I think I had 81 pitches tonight, and I felt good. I wanted to keep going. But, again, you know, he made the right call, and especially at the time. And moving forward, hopefully, you know, I'll bounce back well tomorrow and be available out of the pen game 3.
Third row, Mac.
Hey, Nate, could you just walk us through what happened when the trainer came out to look at you?
Yeah, I had the pitch when he popped up to the first baseman. I felt like I kind of overstrided, and I just felt like a little grab in my back, and that was really it. I mean, it feels fine now, but you know, at the time, it was like it felt the grab, and then I was a little hesitant on throwing the next pitch, the curveball, and you know, it was a bad pitch, and they came out and talked, and you know, I've had it happen before during the game, and it hasn't stopped me, so. It was just one of those things in the moment, make sure everything feels good. And, you know, I threw 2 fastballs to warm up, and I was fine to go. And I don't think it had any reason for them to take me out. That had a reason for them taking me out. It was just because I'd given up the hit.
Anything else for Nate? We'll finish up with Dan here.
Nate, just a thought on being 1-1, and what do you think Fenway Park will be like Monday for Game 3?
No, I mean, this is huge. We wanted to at least take one game here in Houston, and now going back to Fenway, we'll have the crowd. The crowd will be there to support us, and you know, we got 3 big games out there in Boston, and you know, we got to try and get the job done.